perfect circle. Make sure we got some good sounds here. Let's see. Make sure we got everything flowing here. There we go. And we should be going live shortly. Come on, get up there, show that picture. A little bit of a delay. Welcome to YouTube. There we go. Alrighty. And that should be good. Yeah. We be live. Alright. So, we're going to be getting this started shortly. Go to the video. Make sure I get to see everything. And for watching now. Hello to the four watching. We're going to get this started. Make sure we got everything flowing. There we go. Alright, so I want to make sure I can see chat and all that fun jazz in case anybody has any questions. And we will get this ball rolling right about now. Alright, so we do have a moderator in the chat, so if you have any questions, you are free to ask away. If you cannot hear me well, please let me know. Bardic, yep. Alrighty. That there's a nightmare for those who don't know. Alright. And welcome to Bardic, everybody. Alright. Let's see here. Get ourselves a good seat. Hey, Miss Scribble, how are you? Welcome. Everything coming across loud and clear? Oh. Alright, so players are starting to arrive. Remember, inside the city, they're called dreamers, citizens, etc. We got 9 people in here so far. Probably going to expect a few more shortly. Alrighty. Let me make a few adjustments here. We'll turn desktop down. There we go. Go back in. And there. Alright, so I turned down the desktop sound and turned up the microphone sound. Is that a little bit better? Turn off in-game sound effects. Hello. Hello to everybody. Make sure did that work. How's that? A little bit better? Bit of an echo. From 2 locations. Shouldn't be hearing from 2. I only have 1. Does it still sound like you're hearing from 2 locations? Definitely weird. Alright, let me check a few things out here. Shouldn't be hearing from 2 locations. Let's see. Ah, okay. About now. I think I had a secondary microphone. Sweet. All right. All right. So thank you to Koi Scribble for moderating the chat. If you have any questions, please let the Koi know, and they will send me a poke, and I will respond to the question. So right now, what we're waiting for is more people to show up, as they do. The dreamer known as Euthanatos, who is a ruler of House Calendar, is hosting this event of Bardic and giving a little explanation in the background of Bardic, how it works, and some expectations of what you will see in tonight's roleplay. If you do currently play Underlight and you are in the YouTube chat, by all means, if you're feeling up to it, you can introduce yourself and who you play. We may end up getting some people who do not yet play the game and may have some questions that they want to pose. So I'm going to basically give a little introduction on some of the dreamers that are in here now. I most likely will butcher some names. So we have Emmett, Euthanos, Purple Ace, Elmer, Nathan, Cassandra Meyer, Corral, Sassy Sally, Rafe, Lady Silver, Mara, Cirrus Nesto, and Apothos. And as you look at each entity here, you'll see that some have crests and some do not. That means that some are in houses, some are rulers, guardians, or initiates in houses, and some are free spirits. Alright, we just had some new arrivals, Brother Timothy and Blana. It's interesting to note that Blana, Brother Timothy, Rafe are newly returned dreamers that have played in the past. Sassy Sally is a new player, an actual real newly. It's kind of fun to watch that player stumble around a little bit. But they're getting their wings, so to speak, and getting a little bit of a bearing. It's a little difficult at first when you first start Underlight. You got to remember, it is nostalgic. It is 20 plus years old. It does take a little while to get to understand the mechanics of how things work, and as you start to advance your character, you become more familiar with the skill sets and how to use things and how to get around. I will admit that even after 20 years, I still get lost. So you can chuckle about that. Emmett is a fate sender who consistently moves around and annoys everybody. I would love to paralyze inside a sanctuary. I'm not going to ad-lib everything that the players are typing. I will try to comment here and there on some stuff. If you full screen the YouTube video, you should be able to get a clear picture of the inside chat within the game. It's important to note that everything that happens inside the game is in character, and what we're doing outside of the game with this live stream is considered out of character. So if you're not inside the room, you do not know from a player perspective what is going on in the room. This stream is more about showcasing some of the raw talents that the players of Underlight bring to the game, and pretty much give you an idea of how it is that when we say player driven, this is all player driven. Everything that's being done tonight is hosted and participated by players within the realm of Underlight. If you look at some of the tops of the heads there, you'll see that there's various color halos swirling around, either single like Corral's here, which is green, or double like Emmett and Silver's, which are fire, aka pink, and blue, also known as azure. The single halo means that they're a teacher. Green means soul master. White means that they are apprentices, meaning that a master teacher, somebody with a double halo, is mentoring them to become a teacher with a single halo. The blue halo is insight, which means dream seer. Green is Resilience, Soul Master. Pink is Fate Sender, Lucidity. And I don't see a Gatekeeper here, so I am unable to show you that one. Actually, yes I can. Ah, there you go. And Gatekeeper is gold with 2 halos. Master Teacher. So what happens is Master Teachers, which are also players, will select or be approached by prospective apprentices, and they want to be a teacher. So what happens is they go through an interview process, and then you bring them before the elders. Elders are GM characters. Their halos are basically every single color combined, swirling around their heads. And they will also interview and talk to you. And if they okay it, you will then be allowed to teach your apprentice the art of quest, which will give them the first halo, which is the white one, also known as the apprentice halo. And then for several months, they will work with you to learn how to quest, how to task, how to teach. And basically what will happen as they progress, they will meet with the elder lead, the teaching lead, and go through prospective interviews and processes to determine if they're ready for the next step. From there, they will either gain their own halo or they will do some additional training under that specific elder. The halos represent teachers in the city of Underlight. They are directly responsible for the advancement of their fellow dreamers, their fellow players. And they do that through a process called questing. So you will walk up to a teacher specific to your focus or outside of your focus if it's something that can be learned by other focuses. And you will ask for information or a quest relating to the art. For example, we'll use push. And so when you first learn to dream, most of the arts that you can learn first is going to be push. Depending on your focus, you can also learn flame, among other various arts. So the teacher will interview you and talk to you a little bit, trying to figure out where your weaknesses is. If you're new, real new, like Sassy is, the quest will basically be an idea of learning a little bit about the art, but more about learning how to talk to other people, specific questions to ask them, learning about the focuses, the different focuses, learning more about your focus. And then when you're done, you'll return that quest back to the same teacher. And basically what they'll do is they'll question you relating to the questions that they had asked you in the quest. An idea of that is something like Gola random 70. So the quest for Emmett for me to learn quest 70 is to basically do some random roleplay using what they call a conspiracy for certain letters. I haven't really finished this one yet. I've been doing it here and there. But once it's done, this quest will go back to Emmett, and he'll question me on the things that he wanted. And if I met those requirements, he'll evoke an art called Train, which will then increase my art from 69 to 70. That's a little bit about teaching, so while we're here. So if you look at the back of this person here, and I won't even attempt to try to pronounce that name because I would completely butcher it. I'm thinking it's Quadramari. It has a blue crest around them on the inside. See the light blue color? And if you look at mine, I have the light yellow. So blue means that he is a wordsmith. which is sort of similar to, uh, I guess they're oh wow, I don't even know how to describe it because I'm not one, but they're basically the stewards of Word, writers, organizers of how words in the library are organized. They participate in information on the scrolls, which is our term for the forums. The yellow means dreamsmith, and they're basically the keepers of talisman creation. That's the ability to create things like chakrams, um, elements, pretty much anything we can create within our repertoire, within the color schemes and schematics of what we can create based on our focus and our patronage to the specific guild that we're in, which in this case is Dreamsmith Guild. The wordsmiths can make banners, which are kind of like flags that can advertise events or specific elements of whatever roleplay or item that they have going on. Okay, so some new arrivals here are Starling, Quadramari, and Gorgonson. So we have 19 people currently in this room. Is everybody able to follow along with the chat inside the game? You're able to see everything and read. Again, if you have any questions, like I said, feel free to ask. I do have the chat window up. Alright, some new arrivals again. We got Poppy Girl and Krillin. Cool. Thank you, Miss Coy. I appreciate that. I'm not sure how Krillin didn't know about this tonight. It's only been advertised on 5 different social media platforms numerous times. For those who don't know, we are, I'm probably going to miss a few, so correct me if I'm wrong, Koi Scribble. We are findable on, I believe, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and I think there's 2 others. And if I get them, if I miss them or incorrect them, I believe Koi will insert them into the chat there if she can. You are a moderator, so you are allowed to post links if you need to. But by all means, follow us on those platforms. Yes, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. Yeah, of course, I forgot the YouTube one, and I'm on it right now. That was dumb of me. But yeah, so we are available on YouTube. Eventually, we will be, I guess it's called simulcasting through Twitch as well. So we'll be adding that as well. We did create the account, but we have not yet set it up. Perfect. Thank you, Koi. I appreciate that very much. So one of the things I wanted to showcase with this stream is that Underlight is it has its own share of fighting and battles, as you can see through some of the other videos that we've posted, and some of our other players have posted on their own YouTube channels. Either player versus player, player versus dark mirror, player versus day mirror, players versus dark mirrors, etc. So that's the fighting scheme aspect of it, and that will change varied based on the player, how you play your character, how you set up your keyboard. There will be videos coming forward on various different types of keyboard setups, which will help you navigate both the arts and the items in the game from a fighter perspective versus a straight roleplay perspective. Though that's being players that don't fight, they don't participate in fighting. Their keyboard's going to be set up differently than yours if you're a fighter player. But the wide range of what you can do in Underlight is only limited by your own imagination. If you want to be a dragon, if you want to be a comic book hero, it doesn't really matter as long as you're able to mold that into an in-character version of what it is you're trying to display. An example of that would be that you can be, self-generating, regenerating dead character, but you can't call yourself Deadpool. It's kind of a trademark thing, but you can emphasize the character's characteristics in the game through an IC perspective, in character IC, that doesn't really bring in an OOC factor per se, but allows you to mold that character into something that fits for you. You can also be a poet, you can be a lord, you can be a king, you can be a beggar, you can be a prisoner. There's any number of things you can do inside the game, and it's only limited, again, by your imagination, your ability to roleplay that character. It's important that you stay in character at all times when you're in the game, even if you're new. Now, you're going to have questions as a new player, and there are ways to whisper out of character to players if you're needing assistance. For instance, you're walking around without a description. Descriptions are things that you read on the character by right-clicking on their name. So the description of this character here is that you see a man, perhaps in his early 30s. His eyes large and soulful. His black hair hangs down the middle of his back, clinched every few inches with a leather cord. Piercing his left ear top and bottom is a claw from a dark mare. He wears only a pure white loincloth with delicate small sapphires woven around the edges, leaving his stocky and defined chest and abs bare and shining with oil. A tattoo surrounds his right arm, bearing all 8 crests. Now, this is what you see as a person looking at him. You're not really going to be able to say, I've read your description, because then that would be a kind of an out of character thing. So you're sensing the description and the ability for you to describe yourself to others. So what you want people to see when you're looked at. Welcome, Colt. It's good to see you. Okay, so also as a player, you can turn into one of those mares. That is an infant, and I believe it's probably Curlin. No problem. I drone on sometimes at some of these less violent events because I want people to actually read what happens inside the event itself. But I'll ad-lib a little bit and kind of give some small backgrounds on what I know about some of the players. Not much, because I do want to leave mystery there. I want people to kind of get in there and look around. Miss Lori, hello. I think I know who you are. Welcome. As Coy said earlier, if you would like to introduce your player character, by all means, please do. If you currently do not play Underlight, please introduce yourselves and ask some of our more senior players if you would have any questions for them, and they'll be more than happy to answer. We have 4 focuses in Underlight. They are known as Gatekeeper, Dreamseer, Fate Sender, and Soul Master. And there's a basic description of each character on the Koi account creation page. Once you've created an account and you go to create a player, that's just a basic idea of the general definition of the focus. What you do with that focus once you're inside the game and you're role-playing is entirely up to you. You're not defined by the definition of what your focus is. You're only defined by what you're limiting or extending yourself to. And that's kind of an important thing to understand when it comes to Underlight. Now, Starling happens to be Gola's newest apprentice. So if you are a player character and you are looking for torturing a new apprentice, please seek out Starling in Underlight and be sure to harass her whenever Gola is standing around. It would be greatly appreciated. A little shameless plug there. We have a couple of one more player that entered. Is Tamarisk. Tamarisk is from the Monastery of the Shadow, and I believe is the current ruler of that house. Yep, he still bears the ruler crest. Let's see. Blana and Timothy are recently returned. You got Apothos, who is a guardian of the monastery. Starling is working on opening her house, the Order of the Sable Moon. If you have questions about that, please see her in game, and remember to keep it in character. Let's see. Purple Lace is the ruler of the Bastine of Redemption. And she has her guardian here, Nathan. If you need to know more information about that house, please seek out the members of the house donated by the Shield Crest. Blue, red, or white. Same thing with the monastery. Blue, red, or white denotes members of that house with the specific symbol. Yes, hashtag Moonies Rising. Hashtag Moonies Rising. Love that. New hashtag. Alright, I'm learning about hashtags. People are drilling it into my head. Apparently they're important items to use. So I've been given a crash course on them. All right, so another returning dreamer who pops in every once in a while is Dream Edge. If you want to talk to people who are older than dirt, please seek out Dream Edge, Purple Ace, Rafe, or Gola, because we were using Inscribe on wooden and stone tablets long before we had the art of Inscribe. Thank you, Colt. Yes, Colt is a long-time UL player. Met him back in the Lyra days, I believe. And we kind of came up together a little bit. He surpassed me by far. He's now dual focused. Little jelly, but not much. Good guy, good character, good person to know if you have any questions, especially related to dual focus. That is one of the first persons I would recommend talking to. Of the all the dual focuses we have, I do believe that he is the most dreaming one at this point right now, I think. Oh, and as I was saying before, Euthanatos is ruler of House Callinger. That's another house that you can ask about. And then you have a group of dreamers that are working to reopen the Alliance of the Eclipse. That's where I was talking to you about how players don't participate in the fighting violence aspect of Underlight. That would be that house there. We don't actually attack players or dark mirrors or day mirrors. We're afforded an ability called Peace Order once the house is open. That art allows you to avoid violent Dream Soul taking arts used against you. It is an obdurable art, but very few people that fight us actually have the art, so it kind of keeps us protected. We had a loss of membership a few weeks back, so the house was no longer able to support us. But we're working towards getting it back open. It's definitely a house that's needed here, especially as we gain new memberships, new players that come in. We want to be able to afford people different paths to walk. Now, you don't necessarily need a house to walk a path of nonviolence. You can remain a free spirit and never lift a finger to hurt anybody. The only difference with the house versus free spirit is you get a couple of different arts and abilities to protect you from the very thing that you're trying to avoid. So it's one of the benefits to houses amongst the ability to harness power, primes, rooms, and sections of the game that are ordinarily not open to you as a free spirit. Hello, Jade. So, Jade, I believe you are the ruler of the Emergence Academy. Is that correct? Trying to see if there's anybody in this event from there. Inside this game. Let's see here. Puppy Girl. Silver. I don't think there's anybody in here from the Emergence Academy. Oh, nope, definitely not. Okay. Okay. Yep. Nobody's here from your house, Jade. Get in here. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 23 dreamers inside this room right now. Every few moments you kind of want to move around just a tad. I'm not sure if it works or if it's a myth, but I believe it helps prevent storming. So I just do it instinctively. Yeah, these events, oddly enough, Lori, have been really garnering some really good turnouts. Elmer hosted the Unity Tree event. It had like 30 something people. You got the spa events, which bring in people. Bardic, it's not hosted often, but when it is, it does do a pretty good turnout. I'd like to see the teacher turnout start to turn like this too. Kind of get more active and more geared into taking a larger role in the progression of teaching as a whole. I mean, the elders have already been releasing more and more abilities to master teachers and teachers alike, and they're becoming more of a supportive role versus hands-on. Yes, OSM had a huge. You guys had. I was almost gonna stream that too. I think you guys had. I think you guys had 19, 20 people at the OSM event, and then it bounced around a little bit. It jumped as high as 28, I think, once the mayor started showing up. Oh, we're gonna get more, Lori. So, one of the great things about the streams is it gives players the ability as well to kind of market the game that you guys play. You know, I don't have any issues with you guys sharing the streams. I don't have any issues with you guys telling your friends about it because it's coming from a player perspective, which is great. Balana has gotten at least 2 people to come back. I think you've gotten somebody to come back, or you're working on it. Um, I've worked on. I think I've got 3 or 4 people back, and then other players have brought in other characters as well. So it's really working out well. It's word of mouth, which is going to be kind of the best form of advertising that you can get. And then you got to do streams, and you got to be consistent. So we're going to be working on doing maybe at minimum 1 stream a week. My target is really 2, and try to get into the Koi Underlight. Hello, Koi Underlight. And we're going to work on getting more events going. So it's basically on the players. As the players get more events, I'm going to contact them and say, hey, I'd like to stream your event and I'd like to be a part of it. And it kind of boosts their ego a little bit. You know, when I contacted Euthanos, I was like, hey, I want to stream your event. I think it'd be pretty cool for people to see an aspect of Underlight that many other role-playing games don't have. And that's really the community-based aspect of Underlight. everything that we are and everything that we have is from the players. And I think that that's a huge separation between today's, uber graphic role play games that are power leveling with NPCs versus interactions with actual people. So it's very much a community social aspect game, Underlight, versus not really community based, not really player based. And I think that that's a huge distinction. And that's the target audience for us. There are people who are tired of the pay to win games. Today's, characters that you can get as soon as you buy one of the newest builds or newest expansion packs comes with, a level 60 or a level 90 character. And if you've never played the game, you have absolutely no idea what you're doing with it. So you have basically, a level 90 paperweight. Because you still got to learn the mechanics of the game and the changes. And then the difference with Underlight is not only do you get to learn that experience and grow with it, you get to be part of a community, and you become that community. You get to become that person that goes down in history. We still talk about Ladybug, we still talk about Sonya, we still talk about characters that were in this game 20 years ago because of the impact that they as a player made within the game as a dreamer. And I think that that's a huge thing. How many games can you think of right now that are played on the internet where you can go back 20 years, the game is still being played, and people still remember players from 20 years ago? Because I can't think of any. And quick kudos to Brent from Lyra Studios, and the work that he and his team put into this game in 95, 98, somewhere in that neighborhood, 96. So I want to thank him for the years and hours of dedication and service that he and that team of Lyra did. And thanks to the current team for resurrecting and keeping this game going. Kudos to you guys for that, for giving us a place to come and interact with one another and, relink with our friends of old. It's just a great thing. Yes. Even though he's a fate sender, kudos to Wish. Brian. I still love him. Although one day he will become a gatekeeper if I have anything to say with it. Because gatekeepers rule! Okay, special exception to Starling. She is my apprentice. She is a fate sender. So, I do make exceptions. Hey, Thunderman! Thunderman has just come in. So I think we're at 22 now, Koi. Koi has things I don't have. I have to physically count the players in the room. 22. Nice. Love that. So, for those who don't know, and just to embarrass them a little bit if they ever come across this stream, Elmer and Coral are a married couple, and they are perhaps one of the cutest couples in Underlight. Elmer is our little gardener extraordinaire, and he has the ability to be so sweet and nice to like everyone, even people that irritate him. He's nice to. It's a sickening sweet side of him that really epitomizes the alliance of the eclipse and everything that it represents. And he's one of the core standards behind reopening that house as one of its leaders. So just a little shout out to those two. Lady Silver, who's down there in the back, probably one of the most active and strongest newly awakened teachers. She will lead you by hand, whether you like it or not, through very areas of the dream, show you how to hunt, show you how to do things, quest you, teach you about questing. Very experienced, very patient, very good. So if you're a new player or thinking of becoming a new player, the moment you enter the game, make sure you add Lady Silver to your list of locate and look for her. Most likely she will find you. All newly awakens come up on a sense that we have, and it'll say a newly awakened with your name has arrived, and kind of an idea of where you're at. Scribble gatekeeper, scribble gatekeeper. I don't know what it is, but I suddenly do want watermelon now that he just puts them on the table. Please nerf Lady Silver. I don't have that ability, I'm sorry. I'm just a gatekeeper. I can't even water her in anymore. She can blend right through them. As we have been saying in the streams, you are welcome to introduce yourself if you are already a player. Please introduce yourself. If not, if you don't want to introduce yourself, that's fine. We do have various people watching the stream that either A, are players, or are B, considering becoming players. For those that don't know who I am, I'm obviously Gola. Hi. I was going to do this costume in my full leather Deadpool costume, but it was suddenly 99 degrees inside that leather suit, and it's super, super tight, so I took it off. Not to mention the fact that since I'm streaming, it would have only been about 2 minutes of Deadpool time, and then the rest would have been the stream itself, so it wouldn't have really worked for me to sit here sweating for no reason. Gola does write really, 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 really bad poetry. Every once in a while, I'll come and spit one out here and there. But tonight's Euthanatos' event, so I think I'm going to just kind of listen for tonight. But ordinarily, and I actually make it up on the spot, so I don't actually have any of it written down anywhere. One of the great things about Underlight is that you don't really have to write it down, because once you've said it, you can actually go into your Underlight folder and pull out your logs and then print it out that way so that you have it for a later time. Because every once in a while somebody will be like, hey, what was that thing that you wrote 4 months ago in one of the Bardics? It was really good. Do you have it? Can you post it? So you can go to your logs and kind of cut out the timestamps parts and kind of get the poem that you had recited or any other chats that you see within this game here. You can't really post logs per se, but you can kind of ad-lib a little bit, like that's probably going to be another stream at some point, explaining to you how to use logs ICly versus OOCly, and the aspects of how it can add to a roleplay environment. Sort of like telling a story, which is kind of what Bardic is. It's a storytelling event, or poetry event, or some type of art event with words, or visual imagery, which is using words to be able to give images within the heads of the people that are watching. Oh, somebody's got tomatoes. Doobie doobie doo. What do we got here? Plum and gold. Well, Emmett is another older player. So one of the things to note about Underlight Clash of Dreams, I think it's the 1, 2, 3. It's either the third or fourth chapter. Let's call it a chapter of Underlight. And you have a Lyra based, which is the first based. I think after that was, see how much I can remember here. You had Lyra based. I'm trying to think here. What was after Lyra? Was it Shades of Truth? Ongoing Saga. There we go. So there are iterations of players from various sagas, and each one has a different history. And so basically, why we call this Clash of Dreams, it's because it's many dreams clashed into one. So you have different viewpoints or historical events that have taken place for some people that other people don't know about. So when you share that experience, it's basically sharing a story of an event with a different point of view to it. And each version is neither more wrong or more correct than the other. It's your interpretation of the event and your memory of it. It's kind of one of the ever-growing, ever-changing things about Underlight. It doesn't necessarily mean you're wrong. It just means that is your memory. There we go. Yep. But as Koi Underlight said, I think saga is a good term for it. Imagine Underlight is like a trilogy of books. And each book is going to be a different chapter, different people, different memories. And that's another one that kind of separates Underlight from other games. We don't need to release huge epic builds, because a lot of the epic builds are done from the player's perspective. Kind of an interesting, unique twist. Ooh. I like that. Yes. Occasionally you may hear a cat. It's a deaf cat, so it does not know how loud it meows. Imagine a meow with surround sound. He's my little baby. In the game, I have a little flame that's alive that sits on my shoulder, and is basically a representative of my cat. So it kind of does its own thing. Oh, and while we have the opportunity, I believe the Koi team and the players are actually working on a in-character paper. Is that the right term? In-character paper? You guys are producing an in-character paper, right? And one of the Kois want to let the players know when that will be released. Take a little opportunity since we are at Bardic. Kind of plug that. Yes, in character newspaper. Perfect. So basically what? The players will write for it? Midnight PST. Okay. So how many people have submitted to that? Or how many things did you get? Gotcha. Okay, so the players submit things to the GMs, and the GMs put the paper together and then release it once a month? Putting the koi on there, on the spot here. 20, wow, 20 articles for the first, is this the first paper? $20 articles for the first paper. Wow. That is impressive. Ah, Starling submitted. Oh, so wait a minute. We didn't even start it at the beginning of the month. It was started at the mid. So basically 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. That's really good. I think Gola submitted an article too. That's why I wanted to plug it. Gotta get Gola some credit. Alright, so you had Starling submitted one, Gola submitted one. Yeah, twice a month. Awesome. That's really good. I like that. Coolness. So that IC paper is yet another tool that players can use to not only market their game, but market themselves if they actually have an article that they submitted. So keep that in mind, Starling. You could be internet famous. No, go Starling, because odds are you probably write way better than I do. I type like I talk. No commas, no pause. Uh, I don't know. I'm pretty sure Lori could take down. How about that girl? Pretty sure. Cash me outside. How about that? Starling has the most beautiful horse I have ever seen. It has 3 white hooves and 1 brown one. And that right there sold it for me. So, there you go. Join the Order of the Sable Moon. Get a free horse. You heard it here first, folks. Every initiate into the Order of the Sable Moon gets a free horse. Behoove. When I was in the military, we had sort of a changing of the guard type thing, and the military was shifting away from the more harsh words used when it trained soldiers, because you know, it is about training a person to do what you're told to do when you're told to do it, kind of a thing. So they used like every word in the book. Well, they came down where the Department of Defense no longer wanted instructors to swear and belittle new recruits. So they replaced words. Behoove was one of them. And when it came time for running a 2-mile in under 12 minutes, the drill sergeant would say, "It would behoove you not to allow me to catch you, because if I catch you, I will drag you into the woods and I will kill you." So it behooved us to run faster. Everyone gets a horse. If you look under your chairs, there's a star. Get it? Star. Starling. Star. Yes. Soul Masters storm often. So since we have Koi Underlight here, let's ask Koi Underlight a question here. So this room here, Upfall Sanctuary, this is still the same, other than the flowers that have been added. This is pretty much the same graphic interface from 20 years ago, which was for its time kind of ahead of the curve in relation to RPGs, wasn't it? And it still looks really good today. I mean, the graphics, yeah, it's nostalgia, but I mean, the fact that this was created 20 years ago is kind of amazing. Yeah, see, that's pretty cool. So since we do have some players in here, if you guys have future events that you would like to see streamed, or you have your own event that you want to have streamed, you can reach out to Gola. I am on Discord. Just send me a quick message. Let me know, hey, I'm going to be doing an event at the house or in this location here, and I think it'd be pretty cool to have it streamed. Would you like to come by? Just send me a message, and I'd be more than happy to stream your video. I'll send a message to the Koi teams and see if they can get information out there to the masses. Kind of get some links posted or what have you, like they did for this event, and we'll get you guys some customers. Ooh, customers. We'll get you some dreamers. So keep that in mind, Star, for your next OOSM meet. Be kind of nice to have it streamed. I don't know. What do you think? Tweet and fire. I don't even know what that means. Yes. Yes, she did. She said tweet and fire. Oh, Lord. Oh, my God. This is too funny. Catch my tweet. How about that? Too funny. I gotta remember to put that on silent. There we go. Yeah, chirping like a bird. Or in this case, a car alarm. Koi Scribble reminds me of that lady on the commercial for where she's it's a bunch of the old ladies. They're in a room and she's putting pictures up and she's thinking it's like Facebook. She goes, "That's how it works, right?" No, no, that's not how it works. That's not how any of this works. I can't remember the commercial, but it was funny. I think she was tagging like real pictures or something like that. All right, so we got some players in here. So let me take a quick poll since we have some koi in here as well. So we got the koi ear, the koi here players. If you could purchase any one item with some form of Underlight paraphernalia on it, what would you want to see? Would you want to see a house crest? Would you want to see a room? Maybe an item? And on what type of product would you like to see that? Would you like to see it on a cup, a mug, a coaster, a mouse pad, a shirt? Give the koi some feedback and see what they can do with that magic. Hey, Hale's here now. Well, we got a lot of people in this room now. We must have a lot of people in this room. $23, I think we have. A horn on a hoodie that says Mayor Life. We do, I think, see, like my wife and I wanted a ward and an amulet on a different shirt. Kind of like a lock and key type thing, like his and her. I'm with her. But she wants one that says I'm with stupid and it points at a gatekeeper. Wives. How about a hoodie that has a horn on it, and then underneath it says, I also drive a Prius. Boo! You don't like that one? What's wrong with a Prius? It's like an infant of cars. Much like when you're in, yeah, oh, that's true. I rarely use Nightmare Form unless I'm training a new player. Oh, sweatshirt with a horn on it. That's pretty good. Warden amulet. Let's see. See if we can generate some more ideas here. Let's see. Hmm. think we've been streaming almost an hour and a half. The horn needs a backwards ball cap. We don't have no ball caps in Underlight. Hip Hop and Monster. We can give it a gold chain with a clock on the bottom of it. Call it Flavor Horn. Flavor. I'll be honest, I don't know much about rap, so that's the only guy I know. Oh, and the candy dude there, Eminem. M-Flav, there we go. M-Flav with a little clock, gold chain hanging down. Nice. I love it. Alright, most likely we're going to be ending the stream before the event's over, so if you are in-game, by all means, feel free to stay inside the event. I don't want to do too long of a stream, kind of loses the audience here and there. But if anybody has any last-minute stuff that they want to talk about, feel free to do so. We're going to do about 5 more minutes, that way we have about a 90-minute stream. I actually now want to hear that on soundtrack. A candidate you could flow for. Oh my god. Perfect. That is a great opening line. We're gonna have a lot of wards. A lot of wards. Wards everywhere. And only Americans will have the key. Only Americans. You're gonna get a ward. They're gonna get a ward. We're gonna get all these wards up. So once this stream is done and it's shareable, it is highly recommended that you share everywhere. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. I don't know how you share it there, but yeah, share it everywhere. Share it with your friends. Talk about it. They're going to look at you like you have two heads and be like, what in the world are you talking about? What are you talking about? And then you're going to share them the link and they're going to be like, oh, this is kind of interesting. Why does everybody look so old? Bump, bump, bump. Like us on Instagram. Share on Twitter. Yep, yep, yep. And keep those stories and articles coming. I'd like to see the GMs have the problem of having to put out a paper twice a week. Just saying. Because they get so much interest and so many stories submitted that they have to do a paper twice a week. That'd be funny. And if you guys know people on Twitter or know groups, have them follow us. Have them ask us questions. I can answer from a player perspective, and our Koi team can answer from a Koi perspective. And together we can help this game grow into what we know it can be. Supported by players, for players. Twice a week, 4 times a week, 5 times. 1 newspaper every day. I kid. Sometimes. Starling's going to submit 5 new articles. The Journey of an Apprentice, Chapter 1. It was a dark night. Angola called me to the center of the room. I was nervous. I thought I was in trouble. He was spouting off nonsense, and then it started to make sense when I added periods and commas to his sentences. He spoke so fast. All right, folks, that is the end of this stream. It was such a pleasure having everybody here. I hope I didn't bore you too much. I tried to ad-lib a little bit here and there. I am allergic to periods and commas. I do appreciate everybody participating. Thank you to the Koi team for coming in and moderating. I do appreciate that very much. And answering questions. It's great to have a team of player and GM involvement, which is, again, another thing you don't see often in any games these days, where the player base and the GM base can work together in conjunction as a team for the same goal. So much appreciation to them for that. Thank you very much. Again, we're going to be doing another stream. If you have ideas for a stream, or you have an event coming up that you would like to see streamed, please contact Gola on Discord and let me know, and I will be more than happy to set things up and give me how you want it advertised, and I will submit it to support at Underlight or something along those lines, and see if we can get them posting those things up for us. Okay? Thank you very much, everybody, and I will see you in your dreams.